So, Steve, you've mentioned to me before that a lot of strength coaches have a tendency to be very, very, I don't know, let's, for lack of better terms, call it sport specific.
Okay.
So that everything appears to look like this passing, this, depending on the sport, this golf swing, this whatever the sport is, right? And in hopes that it affects the skill. And then they're obviously working on skills too, but sometimes mimicking over here. You were talking about your appreciation for this continuum idea, this idea of continuum training, because it allows for the thought process that you inherently had anyways. Tell me a little bit about your different stages of the continuum you recognize a need for with your guys.
Oh, absolutely. First, let me preempt that whole thing by saying I have a 13-year-old son. I'll say to him, what is the best thing you do to get ready to play basketball? He's like, Dad, play basketball. He says, I'm in my best shape when I play basketball. That's what I do, Dad. So I'm going to put that aside and go back to this. In the realm of professional sports, I'm just telling you, I'm that guy. I want to get bigger, faster, stronger. I want to create freaks of nature. That's my gig. I love that. But if you think for 1 minute it's from A to B, you're crazy. Because at 47,000 times during the season, there are kinks in that. Someone comes in, they have an ankle sprain. So now my question is, don't you have to deal with the ankle before you move into anything else? Someone comes in, you want to do an anterior chain or it's a push workout, but his rotator cuff is hurting. So my question is, if you don't have an ability to take that particular group of muscles out of the system, work on that, how can you possibly do the other stuff? So there's so many things that you have to go backwards in order to go forwards. It's not even close. In fact, I feel we're going backwards more than we're going forwards in order to go forwards.
Yeah.
Now again, it's the same. I would love to go in there and everyone got this femur to tibia relationship. You can squat like freaks. Let's load it up and smack. I would love that. It just doesn't happen like that. Then not only that, you have guys that are tired, fatigued, aren't concentrating. It takes a while to do preparation to do work. So if you don't have an ability to smartly recognize what you have to do with the individual to bring him back to go forward, you have a problem. So you got to understand what's working, what isn't. Make sure the stuff is working before you put it into a system that may hurt it more, and that all goes together with the continuum training. So if you feel like you can just roll in and do smashing on tires, I love that. It's the same. The other day I saw a guy squatting 600 pounds, no hands. Sheesh, if I could do that all day. It doesn't work like that. You have to have an ability. And then here's the other cool thing. These are basketball players. I don't care how much they lift. I really don't. So I'm going to use a word I didn't come up with. It's called internal performance. I want their internal stuff being right.
Yeah.
I don't care how much the weight looks. Or now, does that mean they always have to do it with this perfect form? No, but I'm saying that's where we're going to. I want to make you a better basketball player. I'm a mechanic, okay? We're going to fix this freaking car. And if we have to soup it up, I'm cool with souping it up. But I got to make sure that stuff works.
Yeah.
And that to me is continuum training. You got to find where and what to do.
That's a pretty great analogy, just that idea. If you think about NASCAR, and they don't just go race the car, you know, and they don't just work on the skill of driving. They probably spend more time and money building the engine, taking 5 engines to the track with them so they'll have a new one ready when they blow it out. I mean, there's all this behind-the-scenes work, the nuts and bolts of the thing, kind of like you were saying. And I just think that's such an important part, and it's so cool to hear that you've recognized it for a long time, because it's just a necessity.
But I'm going to go the other end. So if you get in that NASCAR and you go right into the red, half the time I've seen inappropriate loads placed on my athletes, and I'm watching them, and then I got to spend 3 weeks undoing what is done.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying they cannot effectively take those loads? I'm saying, here's the thing. We've had this discussion, Tom. I want to take nothing out. I want to be able for them to tolerate everything. Then I've done my job. Now, in order for them to tolerate everything, I better understand progressions. I better understand what range of motion they have. I better understand their structure. Because if I don't understand their structure, I'm in huge trouble. Because if he can't do something and I'm forcing him to do it, I should be shot. So I better understand all this. And then I better understand how muscles fire and what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and it's a huge undertaking, a lot of responsibility, and it's just so easy for tradition to take over. It's so easy for the sound bites to win, where people just have a mantra where they just do the same thing on autopilot all the time. So it's really cool. I appreciate you.
I appreciate the time.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.